Greetings, Darklings, from across the internet. It is I, the Duchess Precious Ken, once again for the Sounds and Shadows podcast. It's lovely to see all you shadow bookers out there. Welcome. And I have with me, we're in the studio and we actually have my fam with me in person. Collin, say hello.
What up, P-Tink here? How's everybody doing? Miss y'all.
And Katy.
Hello, it is I, Katy.
Now, I know I always say I am additionally extremely excited for the guest that we have, but I really am just excited, more excited than this hangover warrants. But I have with me Marie of the act Grab Your Face. Marie, welcome, and thank you for being with us.
Hello, guys, and thank you for having me. And I'm so happy, and I'm drinking my wine, and I'm ready for this. It's gonna be amazing.
You are coming to us all the way via France.
From my living room, yeah.
Yes. Where about in France are you?
I currently live in the south of France in a small town, well, a small medium town called Montpellier. It's near the sea. And it's small but not too small, and it's really nice in summer. And you've got lots of when things are normal, you've got lots of bars and lots of people having a party because it's a very young and exciting city. And honestly, I love it here. But I moved here almost at the same time as the lockdown started, and
so you didn't get to really experience it in its full glory ever. You know?
We lived in my living room for the past 6 months. So that's great.
See, I always picture that's what France is anyway, is everybody walking around with a bottle of wine and a beret and a Calumet cigarette and just droves of people in the streets. That's just what it is all the time.
There are various parts of France. There is Paris, which is amazing, which is romantic, and the fast city with lots of music and art, and it's very inspiring, but it's in the north and it's cold. And then you've got the south, where I am right now, where you've got the sea, you've got the fun, you've got young people, you've got parties on the beach and things like that. And then you got everything else, which is boring and cold, and you've got nothing. so luckily enough, I'm in the cool part.
Well, I doubt you even know true cold like we have here in Michigan. I bet it's even hard to imagine like here although it's not that bad right now. We're actually surprisingly don't have that much snow for this time of the year.
We're supposed to get 6 inches tonight.
Are we?
Thanks for that depressing
thought.
Okay, I actually am pretty okay with it considering how little snow we've gotten this year.
That's true.
I've only been snowboarding once this year.
You went snowboarding this year?
I did.
He survived this time.
I survived. I did not break myself. So obviously I didn't do enough.
You're so brave.
Okay, so I'd like to start off with you. Tell us a little bit about how you got into music, because if I remember correctly, you were like a music reviewer right before you got into playing yourself. So tell me a little bit about what that journey was. See, I did research and shit. I'm like a fucking journalist or something. Tell me a little bit about what that's was like in transitioning into playing yourself and how you started out.
Well, it was not the easiest journey because well, first of all, I started making music really late in my life. Like, I'm 30 today, and I started when I was 27.
Oh, okay. You just jumped in.
Yeah. Basically all my life.
Wait, how are you so good already?
I don't know. I'm just making shit up. Basically, I loved music all my life, and it was always like something that meant the world to me. But I had a sort of artist block. I don't know how to call it because I was not an artist. I was nothing. I was just a person that loved music and that felt that I couldn't make music because it was not my right, because I was never going to be as good as the artists I loved. So I was like, if I'm not as good as that, what's the point? Like, what am I gonna do? Some shitty fucking songs and nobody's gonna listen to them. And I was like, I had a problem. So I was kind of stuck in that mindset, thinking if I'm not making it big, there's no point making it. So I did not touch music for most of my life, for 25 years, 27 years, and at some point I was living in Ireland. Um, I met people that were making noise music,
Mhm.
and and those people told me that I should try to make sounds and to just come with them and do things at their gigs, to just experiment and have fun.
Yeah.
And I started doing that, and I was like, this is kind of strange. I'm making sounds, and it's just fun for myself, and I don't care. And this is actually, it's not hurting anyone, and I can do that. And I started making that, and it was very liberating. And I had a friend that was kind of leading me into that. That showed me, that put music software on my computer that showed me things, and I was like, okay, I can maybe start doing some sounds by myself as well. And I started I started experimenting at home a little bit. And one day I came home with a few random instruments, like small bits of pieces that made sounds that I bought in a sort of like exotic instrument shop.
Yeah.
I go home and I recorded myself shaking a thunder drum for like 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And I laid that in my software, and I put some random shit on it because I had no idea how to make music. And I recorded myself talking for, I don't know, for 5 minutes, saying things that I had written before.
Mhm.
And in a few hours, I had made that thing that is supposedly called a song, and it was Philophobia, my first song. And I just, I don't know, I had no idea how to make music. I just threw some shit together, put
Just
some
like
lyrics, and it became my first single. But
just
literally, I
like
had
so
never
many
made
things,
music
we
before.
we stumble in, we use Napoleon's plan. First you show up, and then we see what happens. And
Yeah,
you no,
honestly,
I think that's wonderful. I think going along with that, another thing I'm interested in is the name that you chose for the project, Grab Your Face. What is that? Where did it come from, and what does it mean?
um, it's um, it's um, because at first, the project was that sort of weird alien of harsh sounds, because I started making kind of noise music. I mean,
Sure.
Philophobia was kind of noise, and um, and I liked that harshness. I like the punk attitude of noise, and I like that it was a bit hard and a bit mean. And so with a friend that was kind of part of Grab Your Face at first. Yeah, I had someone who was helping me at first, and we did, my first gig was with her. She did not play instruments, but she did a physical performance.
Sure. Like dance
Um,
or yeah, accompaniment
yeah,
performance.
I
Yeah.
can tell you about it later if you want. But
That's off for the record.
yeah, we were we were brainstorming for a name at a time, and I remember I was she was kind of my sanity check, and I was throwing names at her, and she's great because she has the same sense of sensitivity as me, but she's a bit less extra than I am. So she could tell when things were bullshit, where I could not always tell. And so I was throwing names at her, and she was like, "No, too cheesy, too extra, too blah, too over the top, too try hard." And I remember very well, we were in one of my favorite bars in Dublin, and we were going up the stairs to get out in the street. And then at some point, I said, "Grab your face," and I was like, just like intense violence, grab your face. And she was like, she looked at me and she was like,
That works.
"Yeah, that's cool." So
That's
so
awesome.
that. Yeah.
I love that. That's good. And I think it sums up well. You mentioned that you're living by the sea now. I didn't know that. And I think that kind of makes it really more interesting. This new album that you have is called Sea.
Yeah.
And I also feel a lot of metaphor in that. You know, but also it's neat that you really had kind of the real sea out by you at the same time, kind of spelling out this metaphor. Um, I think one of the biggest things for me is even before I talked to you and we were IMing, I heard this album and you're one of those artists that I feel like I know you after I hear this record. I think you do embellish and you're telling stories and, like I said, metaphors somewhat in the album while you're doing it, but at the same time it is impossible to kind of do the level of character acting that you would have to do without having a very personal feel to this record and a connection to it. Tell me about how your life connected to this album when you put it out.
Oh boy, that's an intense
Hey,
question.
I ask hard-hitting questions. I'm a serious fucking journalist. Hit
All
me.
right. Okay. It's an intense album, and I've been writing it for. It seems weird because it's only 6 songs, but I've been kind of sitting on it for a year.
Mhm.
I started writing it when I was in a really, 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 really bad period of my life. And I was kind of losing touch and losing hope and losing the connection between you and reality in a way where you're thinking, well, nothing actually matters. I may as well die tomorrow. Nothing
Yeah.
is going to change anything. And it was a really, really dark period, and because that's what I do for now the past 3-4 years. When I have dark moments, I write in my diary, and those writings become songs. So songs like Somber and Sense were written in those moments where I'm just kind of like completely empty and feeling like there's no tomorrow.
Sure.
And like you can tell in the lyrics where I'm like saying tomorrow will not come, because for me at that time tomorrow was not coming. There was no tomorrow. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And so I expressed it in songs because that's all I know. And even if I've only been making music for 3-4 years, as soon as I started making music, it became my natural language, I guess. It just became what I go to. So yeah, I make those songs, and I have I don't know, I have a sort of deep connection to the sea. There is something mystical in there. There's something there's like a relief,
Yeah.
because it's just so intense and bigger than us that it I could feel that it would kind of would wash me away from all that pain and all that nonsense that my brain couldn't handle. So the sea could just clean all that.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by calling the album Sea. And that's what I mean with the black waves on the album cover. It's kind of a cleansing. It's kind of, this happened, it was very dark, but I need cleansing. I need this to.
Yeah. No, I no, I do. I hear that. And to me, that's why the first time when I heard this album, it was so raw and so exposed. And I think when you mentioned to me that you write in a journal about some of the stuff and then later those become songs, I think that makes so much sense, because even though it's a 6-song album, there really is a progression of it.
Yeah.
And like you said, Somber and Sense, I mean, you really do kind of hear that dark place in those, but what makes it so authentic is it isn't just that, because no one's life is just one thing, right? And I really watch as you listen to the songs, I can see in my head this progression. And by the time you get to the last song, See, it's a rebirth or a cleansing of a song compared to where you start at with some somber and sense. And
Yeah.
I think that's part of what's so powerful is, you know, that idea. I mean, no whatever goth musician that I've ever known is just horrible and depressed all the time, and you know,
No,
like,
for
but
sure.
right, I mean, it's
You can live.
you have to have some aspects of it too. And I love when an artist like yourself reveals just as much about that as they do about the pain and the trauma that they went through, but also why you bother to keep going and the hope of it at the end
Yeah.
and kind of that cleansing factor.
Like basically what's happening in this album is that I start in my room. I start with sense and somber, which are extremely suffocating, which are me walled up in my room, kind of blocked for any future possibility of future, not seeing any possible outcome for this, to me getting out and going to the sea and facing the sea in shore, and in this last song Sea, where I'm basically standing up in front of the waves and ready to get in, to just throw myself at it, because I need some sort of cleansing, of help from the universe.
So
Yeah.
with this album, and like you said, I mean, a lot of this is coming from diaries, and there's a very intimate spoken quality to your vocals and the delivery of those. I mean, it has this feeling of you being right here, like telling me this. How did you get yourself into the right headspace to put that down and put that out?
I was never out of the headspace. I was in a situation where I was extremely lonely. Um, I lived in a different place that I live now. Like now I have like I moved to a different city. Like before I lived in Ireland, and I had lots of friends and lots of I had a big social life, and I had a job, and I had everything. And then I moved back to France, and there was a really moment where I was kind of alone and not connected to anything from the outside. So I was never leaving that headspace. I was like a big depression time, and and I was always in it. I was literally never. I could never free myself from it. I was getting up in the morning. I was in it, and until the evening. So so basically, I wrote those songs in that headspace because I could not get out of it. So yeah, intense shit.
Collin brought up something a minute ago. One of the things I think just is so intimate and powerful about this album is, and unique from a lot of the other stuff, you know, in, you know, dark wave or dark that I hear, is the cadence that you deliver your vocals in. And it kind of almost like a hip hop, or, you know, but I
Yeah.
mean, you do have that stuff. How did you come to that, and how did you feel that this was the right way to express your songs?
That's interesting, because it's one reason that I'm not. It's not really my fault, and the other reason is completely meant. So basically, when I started making music, and still now, I'm not a singer. I don't know how to sing. So
Me either.
like I'm making shit up. So basically, when I started making songs, I had no idea how to make songs. So all I knew was to just say what I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I started just saying those things I had written
Yeah.
in the microphone, and it's like I'm not gonna sing them. I have no idea how to sing, so I just said them, and that was also coupled with the fact that I discovered really late in my life a big love for rap, but like not all kind of rap.
Hmm.
And I'm sorry, I might disappoint a lot of people there, but I'm into like emo rap and
Sure.
sad rap and shit like that. And you know, like yes, that
Like
rap,
who are you jamming right now? Drop some names.
Lil Peep. for
Little
example.
Peep. Okay, yeah.
And
I don't think I've ever heard Little Peep, but I've heard of Little Peep.
oh,
It's just Lil Peep.
Yeah.
There's a really
Little-
good documentary on his life and stuff. Have you seen that?
no, I don't, but I'm planning on to watch
really-
it because it's my jam. And
Nice.
honestly, it's he fucking died at 21,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And he was, you know what? He might have been a bit too over the top, a bit try hard, but he was just 21, and he wrote shit that was, I feel, spot on. Really beautiful stuff. It was not all good, you know. It was not.
Sure.
Because
He was writing
a lot, and
I just heard he was writing a song a day.
he wrote a lot. Honestly,
That's
21.
insane.
The guy I think started when he was 17 or some shit, and he wrote so many songs.
Yep.
It's
Wow.
insane. And I'm a big fan. It's really emo, like, you know, a lot of people are not gonna like that, and I totally feel that. But I started listening to vaporwave, and I really got into that. And through vaporwave, I got into chillwave and shit like that.
Yeah.
And through chillwave, I got into trap and sad trap and shit like that, like people like Younglin and stuff like that. I started listening to that, then I got a bit deeper and I discovered sad rap, and I started listening to that, and I was like, this is so great. And I took a lot of influence from that, from my vocals, and also prayers.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that's,
I'm obsessed with prayers. I love them so much. So a mix of all that kind of made that style of vocals, I guess.
So you've now kind of found yourself, though, embraced or adopted, with negative gain and a lot of kind of these industrial EDM, EBM bands. There's elements of your music that I would see in that, but like I said, especially after you saying what you just did, I hear a lot of kind of more that influence. In How do you feel, though, that it's been to be embraced by this group? I know we just had an interview we released with Matt Finale, and talked about how excited, he was with your work. And, who are some of these people that brought you in and that you've worked with? Because I know, I'm trying to think of who it was, but I think it was Matt that you did a song or that you sang for one of his songs, correct? Yeah. Too. So tell me a little bit about what it's like to kind of be a part of that community and how you feel your music meshes in with it.
I'm extremely humbled to be part of this community, and I have something you probably know about because you guys are artists too. I have massive imposter syndrome. Massive.
Yeah.
All about it.
So
I think we all have that.
Yeah.
Every artist
so
ever.
I feel most of the time like, what do they think? Do they think I know how to make music? It's like, what the fuck? And most of the time I'm just thinking, wow, this is pretty amazing. They probably think I'm way better than I am. But I can't let that win, of course, because if I'm in it, it probably means something. So I'm extremely humbled, I'm extremely happy, and I'm in the same label as people I listen to. Like, I love them. I'm a big fan of most of the bands that are on this record label. So it's been it's just been kind of like, it's kind of lame, but kind of like a fairy tale for me.
I hear you.
The whole princess thing. Princess goth negative gain.
I hear that too. I also feel like a magical goth princess.
Of course you do. You're like unicorn person.
All right, I've been talking a lot because I'm really excited. Katy, do you want to jump in?
Sure. I saw on your Twitter that you are a self-proclaimed lover of pizza.
I am.
This is a two-parter. Okay. So the first part
I
of
know
the
where this is
question,
going.
how do you feel about pineapples on
I
pizza?
knew it. Well, I'm an absolute pagan. I have no rules and I respect nothing. So I'm all for pizza with pineapple on top, but without the ham because I don't eat meat.
Yeah.
But with everything else, the mushrooms, the fake meat, go for it, everything, and all the pineapple, all of it.
One of
Thanks for
my
stirring some
secrets is
chaos.
I know. Sorry.
black olives, pineapple, and feta cheese.
Fucking yeah!
That's a lot of moving parts.
Nah, I love it. I love it, dude.
So, follow-up question. If you were to make the best pizza, what kind of crust would you have and what toppings would you use?
Okay, so first of all, if we're going for the dream crust, I'm going for the crust with cheese in it because I have no rules again. And then it's gonna be a lot of mushrooms. Oh, it's gonna be a cream-based pizza.
Ooh, okay.
Not a tomato-based, a cream-based. So put some mushrooms and onions. And then I would do something that is very French. I would put. Do you know truffles?
Oh, we
Yes.
know truffles.
Yes.
Okay, so
We can't afford them, but we're aware
Well-
of their existence.
yes, but in France there is such a thing as a cream of truffle, and I would
yes.
rub that on the pizza and put the mushrooms and put the onions and put all the kinds of cheese I have in my fridge, and it would be amazing.
All right, when you come tour here, you're gonna make us that pizza, and then
Yeah.
for breakfast, I'll make you the sausage or the meatless sausage biscuits and gravy.
Yes.
Hell yes.
Yes.
I am so curious of that gravy thing because in Europe, I mean in England,
Yeah.
gravy is brown and
I mean, we got that gravy too,
oh,
but this
okay,
is
cool.
specifically Southern gravy,
I want to taste that.
and it's kind of like the pizza sauce you're talking. It's like a cream-based sauce
Yeah.
almost.
I
Yeah.
like cream.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for cream. So yes,
Yeah.
I'm into that. Let's
I
do
can-
it.
We can do that vegan if
Yeah.
necessary, but if you're talking that much cheese, no, we're doing cream. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the one step. It's the next level for me is to become vegan, but it's really hard to give up cheese. So far I've been
Cheese is
vegetarian
good.
for like 4 years now, and I'm vegan most days.
Mhm.
Like I just eat vegetables on 5 days a week, but on weekends I have cheese, I have wine, party time. So, so for now I'm not vegan.
Beautiful. Collin, do you want to ask the accoutrements question?
I do. I need to ask this. All right. So
Actually, it's especially fun because we're asking the accoutrements question to a French
Oh boy.
right, I'm very
Ooh.
excited about this. All right. So we have learned this does not apply to everyone, but many of our guests have talked about the fact that when they're in the studio, they've realized there are certain accoutrements that
Did the shoes question?
this is what.
The shoes
it-
question.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
she's seen our
Oh my
interviews
God,
before.
you've actually paid attention to
Oh my
us.
God, someone actually knows our
Oh,
videos
what?
before.
We've
Videos.
made it.
Yes. So, are there any special shoes, any special pieces of clothing, any weird little reliquary type things that you have?
Blood
to
of your
set up?
ex-lover in a necklace, whatever,
Ew.
you know.
I don't keep remains of my ex-lovers.
That's probably for the best. They're
Yeah.
they're
that's
best put in the
something
past.
I don't do.
Yeah,
Um,
you gotta freeze it.
Yeah.
And then it smells. I mean, honestly,
Anyway, what do
Um,
you need to get you amped up and above and over the top to?
So in the studio, like when I make songs,
Mhm.
oh my God, I am the least rock and roll person in the world. When I make songs in my studio, I have my little blanket and I have my slippers, and I
So
make,
like us.
yeah, I'm not gonna pretend I'm wearing fucking snake boots
And
and
a feather
fucking
boa and a
leopard
yeah.
fucking jacket. I'm in my fucking tracksuits, and okay, they have flames on it. Fair enough. I have tracksuits,
Okay.
but otherwise, I'm my little blanket because it's getting chilly, and I've got my slippers, which are fair enough, quite nice. But I'm not rock and roll at all. I'm making songs in my studio. I'm not gonna fucking overplay that. I'm gonna be extra on stage, but not in the studio, you know.
I'm right with it. I think we should start a new kind of music called slothcore. That's just all about, you know,
Leproscore.
going up on stage like in your pajamas with like a robe and your slippers and just kind of laying down on stage and singing your songs while
And
taking a
just
nap.
cry
Yeah.
well down. Yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, the great.
But
I'm so
I love
glad
to
you're
be
all here.
I love to be extra on stage, like, and I'm really looking forward to get back on stage because I have a new idea of stage outfits that I really want to try, that would fit with the C universe, and I really just want to get back on stage,
Are you going to tell
but
us about it? Is it a secret?
it's a secret.
Oh, okay.
But I can tell you, it's gonna be very sleek.
Ooh, okay. All right, cool.
So, not overly, maybe not overly goth, but sleek.
Okay, sleek. All right, I like that one. That's good.
So I'm going to keep plowing on with a couple more.
Yeah, go on.
3 years. You said 3 years. You've been doing this.
Well, 4 now because it was 2017.
Okay. What are your favorite pieces of gear or your
Oh, no.
favorite things that are you get really inspired by? And yes, any plugins, any like it. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
What do you touch and hear, and you just like that's a song? I gotta go.
Okay, so again, I'm a little punk. I don't do things very big. I don't have gear. I don't have fancy synths. I don't even have a fancy microphone. I have a dynamic microphone, and I record through that. And my only gear is a little MIDI keyboard that I've been carrying with me for since I started, so 4 years, and I haven't upgraded because it still works. So, and I have nothing. My only gear is my computer, and it's all I need. I'm 100% software, and so yeah, I'm not kind of like a collector or something like that. I just have the bare minimum to function. And yeah, apart from that, it's just plugins. And even in that, I'm not like crazy about it. I don't buy new plugins every month or anything like that. I have a few that I got early on and that I make my songs with since then. And I don't even know their names. Yes, I have MS-20, I have Nexus, um, and I forgot the names of the others. So voila.
So one of the reasons I ask is, I mean, the album starts out with somber right off the go with this lush, huge, thick, deep, just these powerful synth tones.
Yeah, and I do that with my little synth software. It's honestly nothing crazy, and
awesome.
I'm using a little bit of sometimes a little bit of trap samples, which I used in the beginning of the album.
Yep.
But otherwise, I just make my own beats as well because I'd rather make it from scratch. I'd rather it all be from me, because it feels, I don't know, it feels more right for me to just do it all. And so I'm kind of listening to songs I like, and I'm like, this is the beat I want. So I go on my computer and I'm like, okay, I need to put it here and here and here, and this is the beat. Cool. But yeah, I'm trying to make it all, and honestly, I'm doing with what I have. I'm not, as I said, I'm not buying new softwares, new plugins all the time. I'm pretty lo-fi, honestly. Pretty lo-fi.
I absolutely love the punk rock, the democratization of music. The fact that you can do that now is so fucking awesome. It's great, and the album sounds fantastic. Last question I have. So on this album, there is, I feel like Ken said, quite a bit of a flow and a progression throughout the whole album. Were these songs written fairly in this order, or is this, did you figure out the order afterwards?
No, they were not written in this order. They were They were no, they were written at different times. I think Shore was the first song I wrote. Um, Shore is the older one, and honestly, this song almost wasn't on the album because it was a mess. It was a total mess.
It's one of my favorites.
I know, and it's a lot of people's favorite, but it almost wasn't on the album because at first it was absolute chaos. It didn't feel right. I remade that song I don't know how many times because there was something, and I could feel that there was something about that song.
Yeah.
But at first, it was a complete different song with a complete different, like the rhythm was there, but the music was completely different. And I felt, no, this isn't right. This isn't what I want to say with that song. So I redid it and I let it rest for a bit, and I re-listened to it, and I was like, still not right. So I had to do it a few times, and in the end, in the end, there was something that clicked. I put that new synth that I put in the chorus, and I was like, okay, this is working. This is really close to what I want. And then I on this album for the first time, I got help from mixer and master engineer
Who did it?
Gum Pilot. It's a friend of mine who is in a post-punk band in Montpellier called Unspeakable, and this guy he's a genius. He's basically a genius, and he took my song and he just mixed it in ways that just it exploded after he put his hands on it. And it came out, and I was like, "This is it. This is exactly what it has to be. Thank you so much." So he kind of, for me, it salvaged the song, but I should probably not say that. And then the other songs were written in that period where I was feeling really, really dark. At just different moments. It was complete chaos that time. I was not. I forgot a lot of it because I have, unfortunately, I have uh, probably light PTSD, and I forgot a lot of dark times and eras where I got kind of traumatized and shit like that. So for me, that era is a big mush of darkness, and I can't really see through it. And so yeah, I don't really know in which order they were, but in the end, when I had them all, I was like, this is a story. This is a story that ends with C, that ends with me abandoning myself to the waves. So it has to end with C, obviously, but it has to start with the journey from my room, from me being suffocated and walled up, to being liberated by the sea. So yeah, I created that order, and initially it was just a big mush of darkness. Yeah.
I mean, I guess the process doesn't sound
Yeah.
necessarily totally awesome for you, but thanks for making it.
Yeah.
I think when I hear you say that, and especially when you talked about Shore, which is, I mean, one of my favorite songs on the album, it is a very introspective album. And I think that's one of the things that, again, reigns true, is that you shared in it just very openly and very rawly, you looking in a mirror and looking at yourself in a lot of these songs, like Somewhere Else in particular, I think of. I mean, we're kind of just facing down. Yes, some wrongs were done to me, and I did some things wrong too,
Yeah.
and I mean, looking at both sides of that and kind of the strength to be real with your fucking self, and then on top of that, share that with the world and with everyone else. And it's funny, one of the things that popped in my head musically, obviously there's not a lot of connection between this, but it got me thinking of New Order Movement when I heard in particular the song Shore and some of that, because this was a time like Ian Curtis had killed himself, and Movement was the first New Order album afterwards, where the rest of the band is, without Ian here, like, what the fuck do we do? And just this sense of, like you said, confusion, chaos, being lost. What is the path forward? And that is so much the actual feeling I got when listening to this album, is you can really hear a person saying, I do not have the right answer in front of me right now, or a clear, and you learning the answers of what the end of the album was going to be as you go. And I just don't see that a ton. And I think when you say, you know, talk about like feeling imposter syndrome that we all feel, to me, that's what, no matter what, even if you don't have the experience maybe in making music or so on and so forth, the part that just you can't fake and that you have and you do so well is taking a genuine feeling like that and putting it into words and into motion. And I mean, you could spend 20 years knowing the beat boop bops of how to make music, but that's a totally separate skill set of being able to articulate that. And I think that's what makes your music so powerful.
Yeah, it's for sure I feel imposter syndrome, and most of the days I make music and I'm like, I'm just kind of making it up. I don't really know, and I just I'll just make sounds as I go, and some people seem to like it, so that's cool. But in terms of what I put in them, for sure, this is really me. This is really real, and I'm not lying in my songs.
Yeah.
One time I saw an interview of Slayer, and he said a thing. I don't know who it was, probably Tom Araya or whatever. I'm not into that so much, but anyway, I just remember it really stuck with me. One thing he said to one of the questions was that, well, the songs we write is just kind of fantasy. It's not real. We don't really think that. We don't really feel that. It's just kind of, we write songs for, like, it's not real.
Sure.
And I remember thinking, I did not make music at the time. I remember thinking, whoa, that is so far from me. That is so incredibly far from my idea of making art. And
Sure.
and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not
Right.
saying that everyone should do that, and people should not write songs about dragons or shit like that. They should.
Sure.
But I just realized in that moment where I just could never write songs that are not deeply related to what I feel, because I don't know how to do that.
Sure.
And so all the songs I wrote were always a story about something I felt. And sometimes I'm thinking, maybe I'm going too far. Maybe I'm saying too much
Sure.
about me, about my life. And but
Please don't stop. I love that honesty in your music.
it's things I say in my songs that I would never dare say in real life.
Sure.
So, for example, when you ask me what inspired my album, what I was going through, and things like that, I can't answer. I can't answer straight, because it would be a bit too much even for me to talk about it.
Yeah.
But to say it in the songs, that's okay.
Right.
That's art.
Because it's left open to interpretation. Nobody really
Yeah.
knows how much of this is truly the exact you and how much of it was the way you helped shape the metaphor or story, which kind of gives you, a little bit of cover in it.
And also, when a song is written, it becomes part of the universe. It becomes
It's
part
out
of
there.
it becomes its own story, and the people who listen to it, they take it as their own, and it becomes part of their story, because it resonates for them because of what they went through. And I want that for my songs, because I wrote them in a special state of mind where it was intense, but I don't really want to say too much. I don't really want to even say in my songs openly what it's about. But then people are going to hear it, and it's going to feel raw and intense, and they're going to take it, and they're going to be like, oh, this is what I went through. This song is about me. And this is what I want. This is what I listen to music for. When I listen to songs by Marilyn Manson or by Depeche Mode or by Nine Inch Nails, I'm taking them for me. And I'm like, this is about me. And I want people to do that with my songs. Yeah.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit here. Kind
All
of
right.
how I ask Matt, I want you to go back in the day to that music reviewer mindset.
Yeah.
And why don't you tell me about 3 new bands that you're excited about right now?
Oh shit. um. Okay, this is really bad.
No,
Because
and it could be any genre, whatever it is that you're listening to, but something you played this week that you were like,
Okay.
damn, yeah.
So I have a disclaimer. It's gonna sound really bad, but I don't listen to a lot of music, and it's very strange. But since I started making music, I've listened to music less and less, and this is something I don't really know how to explain it, but it's something I've noticed. It's like it was a sort of a vital need before. Now that vital need became making the song,
Making music, sure.
and so now I don't need music. I don't need to listen to music like I need to breathe, like it was before. So that said, I do listen to music, just as I think, just not as much as I used to. New bands.
Yeah, I've heard of 9 Inch Nails, so we don't need
You
to
have
pump
you?
them up. No, I
Okay. I have one band I'm thinking of that really blew me away recently, and when I say recently, it's for the past year, so
Sure.
it's really recent.
yeah.
It's the band Gangly.
Mhm.
It's a band that has like 1 EP out or something like that. Not a lot of songs.
Sure.
But holy shit, those songs are just blowing me away every time. It's the kind of song that you can listen to lying down on the floor crying. It's amazing. Do it.
That sounds great.
It's
You're going to send me the
amazing.
link after the interview, and the
We're gonna
3
have a
of us
good
are
cry.
going to
Yeah.
bring a blanket out, and we're going to lay down and cry and
Yeah.
listen to it. I'm
It's gonna be
excited.
glorious.
I have the best lifestyle trends. You can follow me on Instagram. No, sorry.
You could stay on the camera and lay down and cry there to it too, and
Yeah,
we'll,
you want to
be
do
in this
that?
moment. Yeah.
To illustrate. Apart from that, well, I listen to a lot of lo-fi stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
You got anybody in particular that is jumping out to you right now in the lo-fi sound?
Also, we're fishing for if there's anything in the scene near you as well, because we don't know shit.
That is true. I'd love it, especially if you had any bands in France that maybe not everybody knows about that, or
well, there's as I said, there is that band that my friend is part of. That
yeah,
I
the
think
post.
is like a sort of post-punk band that really, really rocks, and they've not been doing that for a long time, and they're really roots, and they're really sincere, and it's called Unspeakable, and I think they deserve more attention. They've been starting to play lots of gigs before the confinement, before the lockdown, but everything stopped, and now they're like they can't do anything, like me.
We'll link them. And that'll
Yeah,
be a great
yeah.
one.
They're part of the Sounds and Shadows group, by the way,
Yeah.
on the Facebook.
Yes.
And apart from that, emo shit again. There's a band that is again. I feel a bit ashamed saying I listen to shit like that. but
Don't be. We're gonna listen to Britney Spears right after this interview.
Yeah,
so, I mean, don't feel ashamed.
This week I've been going hard on Lady Gaga Chromatica.
Yeah.
So if that
Chromatics, I love them so much.
If you came here for goth judgment, you came to the wrong place, sister.
Okay.
That's.
So I'm gonna say it. So I listen to the band Cape Town. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I don't know that one.
Yep.
Are they a pop band?
It's one dude that is small and young, and he sings about really emo shit, and
Ooh, nice.
He's just cute and wholesome, and
I like that.
and he sings about cute stuff and sometimes about his friends dying, but it's really, really nice.
You know, cute stuff. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But I feel him because I feel he's sincere as well, and no, I like it, and it makes me. It's kind of like a bedroom music again, but not in a sense. That's not what I meant.
I understood what you meant.
bedroom
I
and
went
that-
right to the pure place that you made it dirty.
Yeah, like pure bedroom. Like drawing little things in your bedroom while
Yeah, your alone time. You're
having the window open, listening to
Yeah.
birds, and seeing your cats jump off the window and coming to hug you. Kind of like
So
that.
cute.
good
Yeah.
lesson. Yeah, good lead in there. Katie, do you want to ask about her cats?
Wait, you have cats?
Okay, so I don't have cats where I currently live because I live in a tiny apartment, but I had my mom has 6 cats.
Tell us
And,
about the cats.
And tell us specifically which one's your favorite.
Oh my God, they're amazing. You can't just pick one. They're all beautiful and they
It's
all
true.
have their own personality.
Exactly.
And there is one where I used to live there that was always on me. She's called Iris, and she's really shy. She's really kind of a bit wild and a bit kind of like
A
scared,
little
go
feral.
away.
Yeah.
And but when she loves you to death. And she was always with me when I was making music. She would sit on my lap and she would follow me everywhere in the house, and she's an absolutely beautiful soul. And I think she has anxiety like me, so I kind of it's like a kind soul kind of thing. But they're all beautiful. There's one that is absolutely crazy that runs all over the place, up and down the stairs all the time. That just has so much energy. There is 2 baby ones that my mom got recently that just look at you between the bars of the stairs, and they look at you like, oh, I see you, I want to play with you, but I'm very shy. And so they're all so damn cute. I can't choose. I just want to hug them all the time.
I want to hug all the cats all the time.
Yeah, cats are great. Cats are so great.
Which one can you get the most pets in before it claws you?
Well, for me, it would be Iris because she was on me all the time, and because she's the cutest in the world.
Yes. I mean, it sounds like she is your favorite. You didn't want to say it at first,
Ah!
but
I love them all just as
I'm gonna
much.
need you to send photos of the cats so that we can
Yes.
splice them into the
That
video. So
that
you're
is
gonna
no
have to send
problem.
those to us, and we'll
Okay.
put them in. Make them
That's,
cat famous.
Well, it's gonna be my mom taking the pictures, and
That's okay.
unfortunately, she's not really really that great at taking pictures. So it might be very blurry, and it might be like the tail of the cat running away.
And then a finger like in the picture, and yeah. That's
So-
okay. We'll take what we can get.
Yeah. So this is Iris. You see a blurry tail going away of the picture.
I have one more question, just kind of about this last year. Like, besides music, you've experienced lockdowns in France, and in this last year, have you taken on any new hobbies to pass time?
Yeah, I have.
You've become a sommelier? Is that what you're telling me?
It's not as fancy as that. I've taken up heavy drinking. Honestly, I already had a very important hobby in my life, which is making songs. So since I can't go to bars to see my friends anymore, I'm making more songs, and I've been making a fuckload of songs. So
Good.
I have like 3 albums in preparation. So it's going in 3 different directions. So I have to separate them in 3 for now. But I don't have enough in each category to make a full length at the moment. But I might do EPs because EPs are great. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
little
So-
tasty. They're like
Yeah.
little chicken nuggies.
Yeah, little delicious nuggies. That kind of leads in, and I mean, you've pretty much almost answered most of the question, but what's the future, Marie, for GRABYOURFACE? Where do you, if we did another interview, we call you back
Yeah,
next year during the same time,
yeah.
what is the story that you want to be telling us about what you did in 2021?
The next album. and hopefully fucking gigs. Like I
Yeah.
just it's ridiculous. I just want to be playing gigs, and the people who've seen Grab Your Face live could tell you like I this is where Grab Your Face comes to life.
Yeah.
It's really my music, as you said, is quite raw and intense when it's played live. It's apparently it's quite an experience where people kind of feel it, and I love that. I love the idea that I can share that with people. And I have been not doing that for a year. So that kind of sucks.
Have you
As you
tried
guys know.
doing, yeah, have you tried doing any streaming shows or anything
Yeah,
like that?
so I've done some live videos where I just record a song in my living room, and it's cool. I mean, it's all right, but it's not the same as sharing that with people
Right.
on the front row, feeling it, and kind of, So I have done that, and I probably will be releasing some new videos of recording of the new songs live, but in my living room because that's all I can do. But
I'm gonna,
yes, I will do that, but not live because I feel live is not it's not letting people the time to jump in because it's not the right
right.
time.
Yeah, no, obviously, yeah. That's well, I know. I mean, there's a good reason why, we're not around people right now. I mean, it's, it's for a good reason.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's, yeah.
And I respect that totally, and I just want it to be over, obviously. But I'm not gonna fucking play. I'm not gonna like do illegal parties or whatever like that because it's really not responsible.
Right. It puts people at risk. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna play that game. That's kind of silly.
However, you have inspired me. I think I will give Roger and Micah shit that they should give you a decent camera and microphone setup so that you could do a legit live streaming show with good sound and video quality. I'm going to send some IMs right after this interview. I'm going to start
All
giving some
right.
shit. That's all right. I'll bark for you. You won't have to do it. I'll do it.
Sure, I'm into that, man. But yeah, otherwise I record with my phone, so I guess that's not exactly great.
I do miss whining about moving gear.
Oh, God, I
That's
don't.
the part I love about the
Really?
streaming show is no fucking loadout. My lazy ass, like we hit
I
the last
fucking hate
note,
it.
I open a bottle of wine and start throwing it back, and I'm asleep like an hour later. Like that's how
Yeah.
I want shows to be. I do miss actually having people there, but I'll tell you,
Yeah,
no loadout
that's
is almost
missing
worth
the
it.
It
best
is,
part.
but I miss shows enough that I miss whining about it.
Well, you have to try doing gigs like me, where I just need my computer and my microphone. My gear is.
We're
sitting
getting
in the
closer every
backpack.
day.
Yeah. There's no amps.
We've gotten rid of amps. We're down to in-ear monitors. Like if we could make just a virtual reality show, that would be ideal.
hell
That's
And
what
yeah.
I
I want to.
hate people. So
Yeah, I feel you, man. Fucking virtual reality is where it's at. But yeah,
I could be
if I
thin
go to
again.
gigs, it always fits my backpack, and it's just I'm super light. I just got my little tablet, which I'm currently seeing you on, my
Hi,
Surface,
Hi, Kim.
and hello tablet, and my little microphone, my sound card, a few cables, and that's it. And it fits in a nice pack, and I'm ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to go around the horn here with one last thing to ask me?
Well, yes, we did until you said it. Now you put me on the spot. Now I just panic. So no, pass.
Oh no!
All right,
What?
Don't panic, friend.
Don't.
Okay.
Katie's
Do you want to?
gonna go
No,
first.
you can start, and then we'll like end with Collin.
All right, I'll go first. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to steal Katie's question from her because she made me do that. Your music, we've talked a lot about, I think has a beautifully narrative quality. And that's something that, I don't know, is a bit of a lost art now. I think if there's anything, I think production value, music intensity have all gotten better as years have gone on. I mean, even from, the golden age of, but when it comes to lyrics, and that's the one thing that I don't think is at the same level as it was in the 70s and the 80s and and that you do really well. And part of that to me is usually that when you're that good at telling a story and expressing yourself with words, that you read good things. People who write good things often read good things. What is one book that you think everyone should read?
Ah, several. No, yeah, actually, there is one book that I think everyone should read for the humanity to get better, because
Yeah.
I have a lot of novels that I love and
Sure.
that
And that's okay too.
that was
Anything you love.
yeah. Basically, I grew up reading. I read a lot when I was a kid. I read much less now because social media on my phone and
Sure.
fucking memes and shit like that. But anyway,
Those fucking memes.
when I grew up, I was reading a lot, and so I have lots of novels that are really close to my heart. But recently, I read a book that I think a lot of people should read. Is *Sapiens*. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
heard of it. Yeah, and I think that book, like I thought was incredible because it was just explaining a lot of base concepts that I feel if everyone knew them, humanity would be better and we would be happier maybe. So now, obviously, because I read it more than a year ago, I don't remember shit about it, so I should probably read it again. But I think it's a book that could make people better. Yeah.
Good. I like that one. Okay.
All right.
You've had time now?
I did. I knew. So this there doesn't have to be an answer to this, but
Okay.
with your first album coming out so heavy.
Well, this isn't her first. Yes.
Well,
My first album?
I just corrected him. I caught him.
yes.
That's fine. Carry on.
So
My
you mean,
apologies. With this album
yeah?
coming out so heavy and so intense and so weighty, how do you have any game plan to maintain this intensity of music and maintain your sanity?
Huh. That's a great question.
Wish I knew
Because
that too.
you're right. It's not really it was not really a point in my life that should be maintained at all. But I have never stopped making songs since for the past 3-4 years, and I think even if I take different directions, it's still gonna remain this raw because this is all I know, because this is who I am really. Um, I'm a bit over the top, I'm a bit intense, and I'm kind of when I write, I have no barriers, I'm just
Filters.
let it all out, and so yeah, the new songs I've been writing, there's not gonna be a second C. I'm not gonna make a clone of the album. I'm
Right.
gonna go in different directions, but I feel it's it's gonna keep that raw quality, but in a with different colors. So what I have planned, which I can't talk about yet, will it will go in different worlds, but it's still gonna have the raw intensity of Grab Your Face.
When you're recording an album, it's easy to obsess over all of the small pieces. And when you finally release it, it's out there, out in the cosmos, as you said. So after releasing an album, have you ever gone back and listened to it and heard one of your lyrics and thought, that was really good? And like, you're really proud of yourself for have coming up with that line.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I never listen to myself.
Never?
No.
You should. You're great.
Yeah, we like you.
You should. You know who you should listen to? I have a music recommendation for you.
All right.
You should listen to Grab Your Face. That is my music recommendation.
All right.
was a top
I think you would
album
like
of
it.
20.
It was one of our top albums of
Yeah.
2020. I don't know if you knew that.
It's just there's I don't know, there is some sort of untold wall between me and released music, where I just feel I can't go there anymore. This is the past, and it's almost because, as you said, the songs I write are quite intense and reflecting things that were pretty fucking intense. It's sometimes quite hard to listen to it again.
Sure.
So it's quite rare that I sit down and listen to songs that I've released. But your question being about being proud of what I've done.
A particular line, a
No,
particular
yeah.
lyric. Yeah.
I do like my lyrics, and I think they're not badly written for someone whose English is a second language. Uh, and no, several times I just thought it's not bad. For example, the song "So" on the album C, I'm quite happy with the lyrics. I feel this is it's something that I could listen to in another band that I respect and think these are great lyrics. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna say I'm not proud of what I do. I just don't listen to it.
Do you ever think about doing that, like trying to write some songs in French?
I've done a song in French once, and on the album "Keep Me Closer." I forgot how it's called because my memory is terrible. Thank you, PTSD. But I've made one song in French. But when I say I made a song in French, I say 2 lines in the whole song.
Sure.
And
well, I for one would love to hear you do a song in French, and I think that would be great. I mean,
it's actually quite hard to do songs in French because French is a really difficult language, and like English is much more flexible and much more musical, and much easier actually to use and abuse and twist around and play
it has
with.
no rules too.
Yeah, French is.
It makes too much sense.
It's just rigid. It's a hard language. It's an old language, and you can't do what you want with it. And to be honest, maybe I don't do it because doing good songs in French requires a lot of
effort.
Skills. It's just hard. So I've done one and I like it because there's not a lot of text in it. Maybe that's why. But I'm not against the idea of doing it again.
Nice.
I'm still was Ronnie James Dio sincere about hunting dragons?
I know, right? Did he do it?
Like, I kind of believe he did.
I think that peyote is a hell of a drug, and
I've been thinking about this for a minute. I'm sorry.
No, but that's why I can't say shit like that, you see, because it's bullshit. I mean, I listened to heavy metal for a big chunk of my teenage years, and I listened to songs about chasing dragons and getting the holy fucking sword. And
I know most of them are bullshit, but I believe.
But I love it.
I believe
they're all about drugs.
Though.
But they are great songs, and I shouldn't say shit about them. So Slayer is completely legit in doing songs about stuff they didn't live. It's okay. I should not be a snob goth ass.
Whatever, we're gonna record a song about Dungeons and Dragons later. So
hell yeah,
fuck you, bro.
It's already written.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay down the lyrics to it, and it's gonna be about Dungeons and Dragons. And I don't care what y'all think.
I don't want to be that person in the group, but I have a song about dragons being in love with humans,
and it's one of
my
favorite
God.
songs.
and
I
it's
love
complicated. It's a complicated relationship.
The relationship is the status is complicated.
With dragons, it usually is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not easy.
I mean, I'm just trying to think on the mechanics right now, and I mean, technically, a dragon can assume human form.
What?
At any
Yes.
Oh my
gosh. In World of Warcraft, they can assume human form.
Yeah, in Dungeons and Dragons, same deal. A dragon can assume a human form as long as it is a gigantic dragon or above. So
you learn something new every day.
You could have a love story with a dragon then. It works.
Wow.
Nat
Kinda.
20.
There you go.
actually, oh, oh
I'm
my.
sorry to pull the conversation.
No,
down, man. I
yeah,
just,
we got on a tangent there. And I got to remember there was, oh yes, one last important question I did want to ask that kind of came around from this is on the Sounds and Shadows Facebook group, which thank you for participating in. It's been so much fun and I've really enjoyed that.
Great.
Someone suggested they put a post on that they were looking for someone to do lyrics and sing in French.
Yeah.
And someone else posted your name and tagged you into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And I love the idea of kind of that group leading to some collaborations and things like that. But like you did with Matt Finale or other people that you've done collaborations with, if you could do a collaboration with anybody, I mean, from Trent Reznor on down, what would be your dream that somebody you would love to collaborate on a song with?
Nick Cave.
Oh yeah, that's a
good
strong
one.
pick.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Oh,
He's a fucking genius, and I love him so much, and I love the last album so much, and this guy means a lot to me. Look, I'm gonna show it to you.
she's gone, folks.
I've got the album on vinyl.
That's
You can't see it properly with the reflection, but
no,
there you go.
yeah, I see it. I saw him with Rachel. We did a couple years back. And it was, for being like a full show at a pretty decent sized theater, it was, I think, the most intimate show that I've ever been in. It just felt, he gives you that feeling when you see him live, like it's you and him in his living room. Like there's 10,000 other people there, but you just have this feeling that he locks eyes with you. And I'm sure everybody in the crowd feels like that. And just like you're taught. And I remember it cracked me up because at one point he's singing the song and he changed the lyrics while he walks in the crowd. He was just like, I see all of you looking at me through your tiny fucking electric screens. I'm right here in front of your face. Why don't you just look at me? And I was just like, goddamn.
He's so great. He's just so great. And he's got that intensity and that realness that I love him.
Murder Ballads is real shit.
Yeah, I mean, he has some of the darkest lyrics, and he's also in Johnny Suede, so you can connect him to Kevin Bacon via Brad Pitt real easy.
Yeah, but I would stop at Nick Cave. I'm just like, this is it for me. Not enough. And but yeah, for me it's like I love Murder Ballads, of course, but I love the recent albums by Nick Cave. I love Ghosteen, but I love the last 3 albums he did a lot. I think he's someone who was able to continue being relevant and to write songs that really mattered.
I think that's the biggest thing with him, is a lot like I always say about Bowie. You know, you could take somebody like the Rolling Stones, and they've been around for 6 decades, but they're pretty much doing the same thing that they've always done. Whereas somebody like Bowie or Nick Cave, they reinvent themselves every 10 years and are not just like with what's happening, they're cutting edge of it. You know what I mean? And to me, that's just insane, like mesmerizing. And I think that's the real impressive glory of Nick Cave, is that he's been cutting edge for 5 fucking decades. Like that's
still relevant nuts. And still making songs that matter.
Yeah. Well, that was a happy high note to end on there too. This has been such a treasure. We loved having you here. I love this album so much. It just really, it moves me, you know? And I mean, to me, that's the biggest, as a reviewer, thing I can say about music, is when I hear something, especially from somebody where you have a pretty different growing up perspective, age bracket, you know, all those things, but I can still find myself moved and drawn into your experience by listening to the music. everybody needs to go buy the album C. Please check it out and really, like she was saying, is light some candles, sit down in your room with it, and just cry for a while, and
light on the floor.
drink a bottle of wine and lay on the floor and hold a cat. And this is how this album was, to me, meant to be heard. It's very introspective. It's very, look at yourself in a mirror and what am I doing and how am I absorbing this experience. So what song, Marie, would you like to have us share as the outro song? We always play one of your songs at the end of the interview for people to take in. Would it be So for you? That's kind of what you said earlier.
I love So, yeah. I love So because it ends with organs, and it's the kind of song I would have never thought I could write. And at some point I was writing it and I was like composing the melody, and I added the vocals already, and the chorus was done and laid out. And then there was the magical moment where I was like, this chorus needs something more. And I pressed in the tray of plugins and I selected one and I went through things and I was like, organ. And I put the organs in and I was like, whoa.
I love that one. And it pops out of the rest of the album because, I mean, there's so many beautiful textures and things going on throughout the rest. And then there's just this like, hi.
Hello, organs.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. No, but I can't. The thing is, organs. So and C are probably my two favorites, actually. And I can't really pick. Like C is really the conclusion to all that, and it's really where it opens up, and it's I'm alone facing the sea. It's just for me, it's a beautiful moment. I don't know. I can't choose. You guys choose. If you want to.
Well, we're gonna go with So.
We're going with So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an executive decision. We're gonna go with So. I'm gonna agree with you on this. I'm gonna trust in you. And thank you for joining us all. Oh, go down below and like and subscribe, because we do interviews like this and they're good. And if you like and subscribe, then we'll keep doing more of them.
I mean, we're gonna keep doing it anyway, but
You should.
oh,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You're giving away my power position.
oh, sorry.
Everybody have a good day. Bless.
Keep it dark, yo.
Bye. Lots of love.
feeling like a weight. Every word punching holes in my fragile friendship. Another day is dying. I'm sitting in my room, trying as hard as I can not to just disappear. My memories are fading like the life of another that I've been borrowing, waiting for mine to start. And I'm longing for time I'm not sure anymore actually existed or actually mattered. So my body is broken, I'm ashamed of my feelings. I don't wanna turn back at the end of the road. The colors of the past bleeding into my eyes. The pictures are fading, I am no longer me. I'm sinking so low, not reaching the seafloor, going deeper and more into the airless ocean. I am dislocated, I am finished, I'm done. I did give it a try, tomorrow will not come. Lying down awake, forgetting to exist, watching life happening from my bedroom window. When did I get so low? I swear I have regrets, but all the oxygen won't allow me to breathe. So my body is broken, I'm ashamed of my feelings. I don't wanna turn back at the end of the road. The colors of the past bleeding into my eyes. The pictures are fading, I am no longer me. I'm sinking so low, not reaching the seafloor, going deeper and more into the airless ocean. I am dislocated, I am finished, I'm done. I did give it a try,